Welcome back, AMFishers. I'm Georgopoulos, the host of the AMFisH fishing vlog series. This vlog is about topwater fishing, best times to topwater fish. I usually get a lot of questions. People see me popping frogs or using poppers, hula poppers, that kind of stuff, and they'll ask me. So I thought I'd do a video on this because, again, it seems to be a question a lot of people ask. So the number one time to actually fish topwater is when you see topwater activity. So when you start seeing breaches, you see frogs, minnows, bait fish just kind of jumping out on top of the water, trying to escape a fish that's chasing them down. So that would be the number one time to pull out some topwater. When it starts to rain, not intense rain, just kind of that sprinkle rain, is usually another good time to try that topwater bite. Fish tend to sense pressure changes and potentially start to feed just in case a storm's rolling in. And then other than that, you have your early morning, which is a great time. You have your dusk, which I'm getting close to now, which is another great time. And then pretty much throughout the day, like I said, if you start seeing activity, give it a try. There's no harm in it. If you start seeing frogs, use some frogs. Again, if you see bait fish jumping around, try bait fish, maybe, you know, topwater jerk bait, a floating bait of some sort. Just try it though. And again, when you're looking at summer months, you know, you can still try throughout the day. Even if you don't see a lot of that activity, I'll still use a frog. You know, bright days, that nice green frog, yellow frog, chartreuse frog, something like that. But I'll try it throughout the day as well. So again, your best times are when you're seeing topwater activity, just as it starts to rain, early morning, and dusk. Those are going to be your best times. Everything else, again, it's kind of an experiment. I usually try to tell people, just do the level fishing is what I call it. It's kind of a level system, which is try top, go about a foot or two underneath, from there go to, you know, 2 to 3 feet below, and then go deep. And then you'll see where the fish are actually holding and where the fish are actually biting and striking. But another thing to note is, sorry, just checking because I'm in a kayak and there's a lot of boats around me. Another thing to note is early morning and those sunny days, you can get away with those bright colors, the greens, yellows, whites, chartreuse, pinks, you know, pink mouse, all those types of colors you can get away with in the early morning. But one thing people miss when it gets later and limited light, so again, I'm probably about an hour away from having no sun, close to about an hour away from having no sun here, and pretty much starts to get a little bit darker out here. You start seeing the day getting darker. You're going to want to use a dark bait. Sorry, just got a jet boat passing in the middle of my video. How rude. But anyway, again, when you start losing that daylight, you're going to want to use a darker bait. Again, dusk, as soon as the sun sets, fully starting to set, try something like a black. It may sound a little weird, but a black or a dark blue or a dark brown or a dark gray, something very, very dark. What that does is, with that limited light, it's almost the same type of concept when you have an overcast day. Using very bright colors on an overcast day, they kind of just get lost, and fish don't see the profile. Same thing happens at dusk. If you're throwing a chartreuse topwater frog, you know, probably say an hour from now, when it's pretty dark and limited light, fish can't see that. So that black or that dark gray or that dark brown or that dark blue, maybe even a very dark red, a dark orange, anything in a very dark shade is what you're going to want to use, so the fish can actually see the profile of the bait. So when they look up in that limited light, they just see a dark thing moving across. It doesn't matter, they're not really going to zone in on any colors. Again, fish kind of see contrasts, not so much you know, colors. So you're going to want something that's on top of the water, that's completely as dark as possible, and as it's popping across, you're pretty much you know, you've pretty much got decent odds of catching a fish, better than you would on something bright. Throw in some noise as well, maybe a popper that's got you know, a lot of vibration to it, beads in it, stuff like that. You know, just clanking noise, anything, even a buzzbait, a black buzzbait. I've got one here actually for the purpose of the video it will work. So I've got a black and blue swim bait on the back, just a completely black with a black blade as well. Buzz bait. This is great. Again, nothing's transparent. You can't see through this, so the fish aren't going to be able to, you know, miss this. But I've got a nice soft body under there, and I've got a completely black bait. And again, this moving across the water on these darker days like this at dusk, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. The fish are going to zone in. They're going to be able to see it. They're going to hear it, because this makes a ton of noise, as it's got this little clanking blade here, but it makes a ton of noise. So they're going to be able to zone in on it. You got some good stuff going on there. If I went to, just for purposes of the video, a chartreuse spinnerbait with chartreuse blades, very, very different. You know, very, very bright. The fish are going to start to miss that. They're not going to actually zone in and see it. Again, just to everybody out there who's asked about the topwater bite, try those best times. I mean, everyone, you know, it doesn't mean you have to get there early every time. Maybe you try dusk one time, you try sunset the next, sunrise the next time. But give it a try. It's, like I said, it's a great bite. It's very exciting watching your bait just get hammered by fish. But those little things in there, like I said, darker baits, less light, brighter baits, more light you have. And add the noise. You can add the noise throughout the day as well, but you can also add it. I'd add it more when you have limited light, just so the fish can actually have an extra little something to zone in on. But just like I said, I wanted to do this video. I've had some people ask me what are the best times. You know, I'm always getting there first thing in the morning, and I'm casting my brains out, and I don't catch any fish. You know, it may be on, it may be off. It's one of those things you just have to kind of zone in. Practice, take a look at it, see what the day brings, observe the water. You know, that you might get a bunch of missed strikes. Again, topwater hookup ratio isn't the best. Fish have to really zone in on it and want it and hammer it. And most of the time they'll end up missing it, maybe come back for it a second time where you'll get them. But again, just wanted to do that video on the decent times and the best times to actually do that topwater bite, and just experiment. Jump out of the box again, experiment on your own. I mean, maybe, you know, I've done the, I'm going to say probably the past midnight topwater bite on a few rivers shore fishing back in the day when we were younger, and we had some good success. I mean, you know, we were catching some smallies in 2 to 3 feet of water that were just, you know, hammering a black popper style bait. It happens, you know, the next time you go up there, it may not happen, you know, something could be off, the bait could be off, the fish could not be in that area, but give it a try, guys. It's great. Like I said, there's those key times that I mentioned a couple of times in the video. Focus on those, try them, just make sure you're presenting the bait to the fish the way it needs to be presented. Don't be popping a frog across the water at Mach 5 or anything like that. Work it exactly like you see a frog. A few pops, let it go, another few pops, let it go, pause it, stuff like that. But like I said, I wanted to do this video because I had I get asked quite a bit on topwater bites, and you know, I share my information, and I figured I wanted to do a couple of videos on it. You know, working frogs. I've got some other stuff that I've got on my YouTube channel, but I'll leave it at that for now. Try that topwater bite morning, throughout the day, randomly, and your dusk. Morning and dusk are going to be fantastic. They're really good times to try that. And then when you get that rainfall, starting in the rainfall, try it as well. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.